Originally, today's topic is about there is no right or wrong path. That would have been the topic for today, but believe it or not, actually I've already made that video last night, but I felt like I was making a video to make a video, and not that the video came out bad, but it kind of felt like I'm starting to treat making YouTube videos like a job, something that I have to do. And I kind of caught myself having those thoughts, and it's probably because I have never recorded. I've never uploaded video. I've never tried maintaining a pace of uploading a video once a day. Like I said, I am doing this for 30 days straight, so the whole month of June that I will be uploading a video every single day. But I think I'm still trying to debate and wrestle with my mind whether or not I want to put out that video or just re-record it. But either way, I hope everyone's having a great Thursday. Everyone's having a good Thursday, and I was really fortunate today because one of the brothers from church and we got to get coffee, catch up, and also really talked about some of the problems that we're going through in our personal life. He's in a season of life right now where he is living at home with his parents and with his grandparents as well, came to visit, and I think it made me reflect the time and also the period when I had to live with my parents, and how difficult it can be to live with your parents. I think especially as you get older and older that you develop your own sense of self and perspective, and sometimes you just don't see eye to eye with your parents, and that's okay. That's pretty normal. It just means that we're grown up and we have a idea of how we perceive the world, and like I said, sometimes that just clashes with your parents' way of outlook. And in my friend's case, it didn't really pan out to be his favorite, but kind of as I was going through today, the motion of today, this idea came to me, which is also the topic of today's video, is that I think all interpersonal problems can be resolved and will not exist if everybody treated each other as equal and respected each other's opinion. If everybody treated each other as equal and respected each other's opinion. I know it sounds simple, right? It sounds simple, but Daniel, if it's that simple, then how come we're always hearing problems with parents and child? husband and wife, and I can't think of a third example to come up in my head. But yeah, how come there's so many issues if it could be that resolved that easily? I think it's because, you know, the ego is always involved whenever we're dealing with other people. You know, we feel the need to feel right instead of trying to be on the same page. Sometimes it feels like a power struggle, you know. I have a friend who's married, right? And he said that, you know, whenever his wife kind of asks questions about whether or not a certain chore is done at the home, he says that he feels triggered or questioned. And I think what he's trying to say is that he feels undermined whenever his wife questions or asks about, you know, a certain chore at home, right? He might have feel attacked that his wife didn't trust him to know enough. And so when she questioned him, he kind of just tensed up. That's the word I'm looking for. Tensed up and felt attacked. And I think oftentimes, especially if we're talking about the ego, that people feel the need to be above each other, you know. And I think that's what's wrong with so many interpersonal problems. I don't think people knows or take it wrongly that you can allow yourself to respect a disagreement rather than instinctively running to your fight or flight whenever you hear a different worldview or a different opinion that... Hey guys, Sunday, Daniel voiceover coming in here. I know. I review the footage that I filmed on Thursday, and I reviewed the footage that I filmed on Friday, and I noticed I had no idea what I was talking about, or I felt like the rest of the video was kind of confusing, and I just kind of want to chime in with a voiceover to kind of clarify some of those things. And, you know, sometimes things just don't work out. Okay, so to clarify the right to have an opinion versus the need to validate or agree to an opinion, they are not the same. You can respect someone's opinion without having to agree with them. Just because someone holds a different opinion than ours doesn't mean we need to agree with them. And sometimes when we hear someone holding a different standpoint from us, it can feel like our own belief or opinion is under attack, especially when our ego is attached in the things we say and our need to feel and be correct. And that's what our ego wants. It wants to say, yes, I'm right. And that type of thinking and feeling is what causes us to justify or defend when we hear someone different, you know. And I think this is where people get lost in translation. You can respect someone's opinion that's totally different from us without the need to agree with them. Oftentimes, we mistake respecting someone's opinion with the need to also agree with what they say. But you can respect someone's opinion and disagree with what they say. And when it came to the wife asking the husband with the chores and obligations, sometimes the husband can interpret the wife asking as the same as the wife is undermining or not trusting the ability of the husband to finish the task or chore. And it really comes down to a perception versus a perspective territory. And if you guys want me to make a video on that, go ahead and write down perception versus perspective down below in the comment section. And where this gets kind of tricky is that the husband might identify his ability to do the chore or obligation to his self-worth, right? AKA his ego, the ability to solve and do, the ability to do and solve problems, right? And I think it's important to have a healthy ego, and healthy ego is not something everyone have. I think it's very hard to have a healthy ego just because I think a lot of things needs to happen in life for for someone to be raised with a healthy ego. But that's another video or another topic for another time. Back to the discussion here. So if the husband has a healthy ego, right? If their ego is healthy enough, I think when your wife is asking you if the chores are done or if the things are done, it doesn't necessarily mean that she doubts your ability to finish tasks. It's actually, I think it's a healthy form of communication to check in with each other, with your SO, and maybe offer help, right, or a reminder if the chore is not done. It doesn't necessarily automatically means that when they're asking whether or not the thing have been done, it doesn't mean that, hey, like, they're undermining your ability. And to conclude the discussion for the parent and the child, sometimes the parent can feel like the kid is attacking them because they refuse to validate the parent's worldview. What I mean by that is that when the child or the kid's behavior, language, or action, it differs, right? It differs from the parent's expectation, right? And when those two collide, right, when what you expect and what you see is different, it can feel like, to the parent, it can feel like their worldview is being attacked, or their kid is changing, and that can threaten the parent's belief system, right? Oh, my child's changing, or oh, he no longer loves us, or he's obedient to us, right? And they can't take it as an attack because like their son's action or the kid's action is no longer aligned with their parents' worldview. But yeah, I hope this all makes sense. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave it down below. Again, I do read all of them, and I'll get back to you. When I was making this video, I was still kind of processing my thoughts and idea, and I had a hard time really tying them into a string of words that made sense. Sometimes good ideas just takes 2-3 days to come to fruition, come to a full circle. The video that is coming that you're watching is actually filmed on Thursday, but because of technical problems and just kind of personal things, it's getting uploaded right now on Sunday. So wherever you're watching this, whenever you're watching this, guys, I hope you have a blessed day, and thanks for tuning in, and see you guys on the next video. Bye. Thank you.